Hello, my loves, and welcome to a day of releasing, and hopefully letting go. So our word of the day is fear, and it's a really interesting one. It's something that we pretty much all have some kind of connection to every single day, whether we realize it on a conscious level or it's just happening in our subconscious. That fear of it might be not being enough. It might be maybe not getting a job. Whatever it is, there are so many ways that fear shows up in our lives. And there are a few techniques that I personally use and that I have shared with so many of my students over years and years of teaching, that have really helped them just ground back into a little bit more clarity, when fear arises. And that's what we're going to be working with today. So we're going to get on into it. I recommend you find a comfortable seated position. So for the first part, we will be seated. We're going to move through some tapping to begin with, then some body drumming, then some shaking. And honestly, if you've never done any of these practices before, if you've joined this challenge and you're only here for the yoga, I assure you that all of these practices are part of the whole 360 approach to yoga and the person that we want to be when we step off of the mat. So yes, no downward facing dogs today, but still good, pure nourishment. So you're going to find your two peace fingers of your right hand. And we're going to close down the eyes. And just to begin with, just find some grounding here. Now, maybe you ask yourself, what's something that I've been holding on to recently where fear has arisen? Or maybe you can just connect with a moment recently in your life where fear was present. And like I say, it doesn't need to be this big, catastrophic, fearful event. It shows up in everyday life. And so we're going to breathe in and we're just going to blow, make an O with the lips. We're blowing away that fear. Again, take an inhale. And we blow it away. Saying to ourselves, I'm ready to let go of this fear. I am ready to let go of this fear. So you can keep the eyes closed. You're going to take the two peace fingers of the right hand and you're going to start to find tapping to the outside edge of the left hand. And just start to find your rhythm. Doesn't need to be hard, just finding a gentle rhythm here. And we're going to move through all of our tapping points. Going to release that left hand down and take the right fingers to the crown of the head. And then down to just the inside of the right eyebrow. And to the outside of the right eye. And then underneath the right eye. Below the nose, above the lips. And then to the chin. And we're going to take it across to the left collarbone. This one can be quite tender, can also be a little bit triggering. So just be mindful, going gentle here onto that collarbone. And you're going to lift the left arm up and we're going to come underneath. So just the side of the ribs here, just underneath the armpit. And then we're going to do all of that to the other side. So left two-piece fingers coming to the outside edge of the right hand. And if you can keep your eyes closed, just staying with those eyes closed. And then up to the crown of the head. And then down to the inside of that left eyebrow, also getting into the central space as well, naturally. Connecting with that third eye wisdom. And to the outside of the left eye. And then underneath the left eye. Below the nose, above the lips. And onto the chin. And then across to the right collarbone again, just being mindful of any sensitivities here. And just knowing it's normal for practices like this, somatic practices like this, to bring things to the surface. So if there are energies, emotions bubbling to the surface, just looking to them with compassion, with intimacy, and with love. And then lifting up the arm and coming to that rib space. And then releasing. So just release the hands down for a moment. Closing down the eyes. Take a nice big inhale. And let it go. And just for a few moments before we come into our body drumming, let's just receive the vibrations of that tapping. And whenever you're ready, you can flutter open the eyes and begin your body drumming. So all the way over the body, this isn't about hitting yourself or about being really hard. This is a beautiful activation of stagnant energy, a really amazing way to release. And just don't forget the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. And obviously you can come to standing when you're ready and continue with your body drumming, but definitely I recommend to not miss out on those feet. I remember when I first started body drumming, I would never did my feet or the palms of my hands, which to me now just feels completely wild because they're the parts of the body that we use the most. And when you get down, when you do get to the hips and the pelvis, and ladies, the womb, maybe just going a little bit softer, just being a little bit more gentle here. It might be that you're calling for something a bit more vigorous, but generally speaking, wanting to be a little bit more gentle in this space. And then down the legs. There is no right or wrong as to what order you do this in. So just... And the lower back always feels really, really good. Don't miss out your bum. And going as high up on your back as you can. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get the whole way up. And then not missing out the shoulders. And then tips of the fingers. I know we've already done our tapping, but tips of the fingers all over the face. And the scalp and the crown of the head. One of my favorites. Beautiful. And just moving any blocks or bolsters that you had on your mat out of the way. And we're going to start to shake. And we're going to shake for at least a minute, maybe 2. So at some point, you'll be like, whew, bit of heat. This is getting a bit weird. I want you to really just give yourself into some freedom. Remember, I am ready to release this fear. And a really, really good thing to do is also to vocalize, to activate that vagus nerve with all of that shaking. I don't care how weird you think I am or how weird you feel right now. The weirder, the better. You've got about another 40 seconds here. 40 seconds to shake and release, to bounce. Another 10 seconds. And then you're going to come to find stillness. That could either be seated, laying, or standing. I don't mind which. Wherever you get to, just close your eyes and take the palms of the hands facing upwards, or if you're standing, facing forwards. And just really connecting. Can you feel the energy literally zinging off your palms right now? Can you feel your feet alive, a little bit more, connecting in a more present way with the earth? And come back to that knowing, I am ready to release this fear. I am ready to release this fear. I am ready to release this fear. Just taking a few more moments here to bask in this energy, to receive any messages that need to be sent to you, downloaded, just feeling into any divine higher self wisdom that is coming to you right now. I'll place one hand on top of the other over the heart space. Take a breath in and let it go. Thank you, thank you, thank you all so much. You are indeed ready to release and to let go of that fear that has maybe been holding you back. And come back to this practice. It's such a good one just for a good old shake off, a really beautiful somatic release. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you for another practice tomorrow. Bye-bye.